Commander directs us. Murder is in the air. Move it. I can smell it.
Welcome everyone. Today you are going to be thrown into the first major battle between the Warriors of Chaos and the Dwarves. This battle is being fought outside of the city of Sjoktraden, and the victor will decide its fate. Now, the Dwarves are the defending force in this conflict, and unfortunately for me, have a much larger army compared to the Chaos Warriors, which is the faction under my command. In addition to having the larger army, the Dwarven forces also have a larger emphasis on ranged weaponry, which could be a deciding factor in this battle if it wasn't for one thing. My company of mounted marauders and warhounds that have flanked entirely around the Dwarven army to kill these vulnerable siege weapons. Yeah, that's right, you Dwarven fucks. Die! Die! Sorry, I mean, this will likely be a crippling blow to the Dwarven army, since what the Chaos Warriors lack in numbers, they gain greatly in mobility. However, now, even without any ranged siege weaponry to back them up, these Dwarves are going to continue their advance and assault my hardened lines. This is the part where their tiny, disgusting, short Dwarven lives are crushed by the power of the Chaos Warrior Empire! Sorry. I mean, they are gonna get fucked though, for real. Like, that is gonna happen. And here comes the meat grinder. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I just love spilling the blood of the innocent. And as you can see, these hentai tentacle monsters, I don't really know what they do, but I always put them up front because they kick a lot of fucking ass. And as you can see here, clearly if this was an infantry battle, they massively outnumber us and would probably have the upper hand. But now that I have my mounted forces behind their lines destroying their ranged infantry, that is going to be a major asset in winning this conflict.
Now you die.
And now, just to pull out here for a second, which, you know, I never pull out, but you can see the front line, and in the rear, you can still see our mounted infantry demolishing their ranged units. And now, since we're the only force that has siege weaponry, we're using that to our advantage. Oh man, and we can just get some slow-mo footage here of us just tearing the limbs off of these fucking degenerates. Oh God, it feels good. It feels so good. Absolute goddamn carnage. Oh, it's fantastic. And now, naturally, the Dwarven ranged units are retreating, which is good because that means they're starting to see that we are the superior race, and that every one of their comrades that we strike down will suffer damnation for eternity. Back to the primary battle, we can actually see that our front line is doing quite well, and if anything, our right flank is starting to take an advantage. Now, the left flank is still seeing a more even ratio, but if our right flank breaks through, in addition to our mounted units being able to destroy most of their ranged infantry, we might be able to bring our ground forces behind and close in everyone on the left flank, which would most likely end the battle. Now, our siege weapon is actually doing a great job at throwing what remains of their ranged infantry into complete disarray. Now, this maybe wouldn't have as much of an impact if the siege weapon was just by itself, but the fact that we have mounted marauders in the back, just harassing and destroying what is left of these units that are split apart, is a really great 1-2 punch. You drive them into disarray with the siege weapons, and then you pick them off piece by piece with your mounted infantry.
Close on the sheep! Destroy them! Run, you dogs!
Now, this is actually a very close approximation of what your mom's face looked like last night. Anyways, now our ranged units have actually been taking a beating from these riflemen to the right here, and that is going to be a problem. That is something we're going to have to start focusing our fire on if we want to minimize the amount of casualties we're going to take. Even though this is likely going to be a victory, it's very important to minimize casualties no matter what situation you're in. Now, actually, we've taken that right flank, and we can move our units over to the left flank to assist. And, of course, the hentai tentacle warrior monsters just completely mop these fuckers up. Like, it's literally insane. And here we go. Now that we've had all of our mounted forces destroy their ranged units, they are coming in to crush what is left of their ground forces from behind. This is honestly one of the best tactics I've ever used in a Total War style game. You always want to come at dudes from behind. You want to come at dudes in their behind. That's what you want to do. And now you've got some dudes here that had retreated before, but now they've rallied up and they're trying a second offensive, which is obviously not going to work. So I'm just going to send some of my warhounds to scatter them.
Charge them! Death! We want their eyes! Let no earth scum survive! Lead us to more!
And of course, they immediately start trying to retreat again. Pussies. Pussies! And now here you can see the front line is starting to close down. We've actually got their general is here just holding his own. Somehow this motherfucker is holding his own, but I don't care. I'm just gonna tell all of my forces to ignore this guy and mop up the rest of his ground units, because this is pretty much over at this point. And of course, they've still got a couple of ranged units in the back here, which have somehow still been able to rally. But I'm going to have my siege weapon focus fire on them and scatter them up. I could send my mounted units after them, but honestly, at this point, they're not really doing enough damage to really matter. So just scattering them and making them ineffective with my siege weaponry is probably good enough. Bam! And there we are. Full retreat. The enemy units are now in full retreat, and we are victorious. Well, that is it from me for today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you tell me down in the comments, because doing all of this highly edited commentary is a lot more work than I normally can spend on my videos and still keep up with my upload rate. So if you like to see this,
you better send me a lot of words of encouragement, and I'll hopefully do it again if it stays worth it. But if you want to also support me doing this, you can become a backer on Game Wisp or not. Entirely up to you. But if you enjoy this content and you do that, that means the content will happen more often, and I'll be less stressed out, which means I can focus more on making things that you enjoy watching, right? Capitalism! Yeah. Alright, well, I'll see you guys next time. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I won't see you next time. Maybe this is the last time I'll ever see you, which would be sad. But I also don't really care that much, because you're a piece of shit! I'm sorry, okay, I love you, bye. Man, I loved it!